Hello and welcome to the channel and another video of the 3 foot by 2 foot model railway. This video was actually never going to exist. I was going to stop after episode 10, but a few people have messaged me saying, what locos can you actually run on your tiny layout? Is it only just 040? So I'm going to go through some of the locos that I can use on my layout. So in front of you, you've got the Oxford Rail 060 diesel. This one's been weathered, and this runs perfectly fine on the layout. Doesn't like heavy wagons, but you can put 2 or 3 wagons behind it and it'll run quite smoothly along that. So that's one of the first locos which runs on the layout. Second one, you got the Rapido 15XX. This one will go round absolutely fine, but it's not the happiest of locos on the tight curves, but it will go round them without derailing or anything. So you could use it if you wanted to. I don't normally use it. I normally stick to just my 040s, but you can get away with some of these 060s. So that's 2 of my fleet, which are bigger than 040s, which will work on this tiny little layout. So as you can see, it doesn't sound, it slows a little bit down on the bends, but it does manage to get round absolutely fine. So we'll pop that one up in the shed, and then we'll move on to the next one. So next we have got the this is a Hornby O Class 08. I'm not sure if this one's a Class 11 technically, but it's an 060. And this one actually runs really well on my layout. It's geared for really nice slow pace, and it's absolutely beautiful on this layout. So this one's really good to do a bit of shunting on, but this one has no issues at all with the tight curves, doesn't slow down or anything, so really good one to have. So that's 3 locos now, which are all 060s, which will run fine on my layout. There are 060s which sometimes don't like going around, so I've got a Bachmann Pannier tank, and that doesn't like going around at all, and on the tight curves it will derail, but as you can see I've got 3 060s which will happily go around the layout, especially this Hornby one. Absolutely no problems, as you can see, taking out 3 of the coal wagons out of the depot. So really good runner, this one. And I picked this up off eBay many years ago for under £50, and it's been absolutely brilliant. So really good loco, these. It'll be interesting how the new Bachmann ones come out and how they compare with all the mod cons with lighting, etc. But so that's another one. We're going to another 060 that I've got in my collection, being the Hornby Terrier. So this obviously is a tiny little steam locomotive, and this again has absolutely no problems going around the layout. So we'll use this to push the wagons back into the coal merchandise depot, and then they can go into a siding. So as you can see, as it goes around the curves, no issues whatsoever. And this is a tiny little loco, so it shouldn't have any issues. Not the best driving there on my controller. I've only got a cheap Hornby controller for this layout as it stands. And now we'll just run this back around into the side next to the engine shed, and we'll park it up there so it's out the way. So that's 4 now 060s I've got, which will run around. So it's not just 040s, and like some people said, is that all you can do? But so you can vary it up a little bit more, which is quite nice because I've only got 3 040s sort of detailed ones, so it's nice to have a few more locomotives to be able to use on the layout. So we'll pop this into the siding with the couple of wagons, and we'll move on to the next locomotive which I use in my layout. So up next is the Dapol Hawthorne, and this is probably my favourite locomotive. Absolute brilliant runner, amazing detail. It's got flicker light box and all under £100. Absolute brilliant runner. I have done a review of this loco, and I've been tempted to get another one in a different coloured livery because it just is absolutely superb. My model of the year by a long shot. So I won't go too much detail about that one, but We'll go into the next one then. So next, it's a very similar loco. You got the Hornby Peckett. This one I've had a few issues with the pickups. It's not the best runner. I really need to do a bit of TLC on it, but I should be able to get it just to run around. I might have to push it a couple of times, but it does work. And again, it's only a small wheelbase locomotive. It has no issues with the tight curves, saying it's only 2 foot wide, this layout, and it's a lot tighter than first radius curves. Yeah, like I said, it needs a bit of TLC, this one. Pickups aren't the greatest. It's been dropped a couple of times by accident. But that's the Hornby Peckett. Up next, we've got the Hornby Ruston, the smaller of the ones. Now, I did have both. I had a slightly bigger one, but I've sold that on now to have a bit of more money to play with to buy other locos. But this one's been weathered by TMC, and it's an absolute little gem, this loco. We'll go around this layout over the points without the wagon, which is provided to help reliability. It goes over them points, absolute no problem, and I can slow it down a little bit and pull it into the siding, and you'll see there's no issues at all with it. Absolute brilliant loco, that is. Fully recommend them if you haven't got one. So that's the Hornby Ruston. Up next, everyone's got probably some of these hanging around. The cheap Hornby O4Os. I've got loads for my son because if they drop, they're only cheap to replace. So obviously they will run around absolutely fine. And I'll just do a one loop with this one. This one needs a bit of TLC again. It's been used a lot by my little lad, but as you can see, it'll go around the layout absolutely fine. So gives you another option. Up next, some of a locos which my son loves, and we'll go around this layout without a problem, is the Bachmann Thomas 060, and then the Bachmann James, weirdly, which is the biggest loco, goes around, and then I've got the original Hornby Percy one. But yeah, the Bachmann James actually will go around this, and that's got a tender on it. So that's a 260 plus the tender. So yeah, I can't believe it works, but it doesn't sound the healthiest. Again, it's been not best looked after, but it works absolutely fine. Doesn't derail on the curves or anything. So yeah, the Bachmann James works fine on tighter than radius 1, which is a miracle. So yeah, really pleased with that one because my son uses this layout a lot, and it's really handy to be able to use the characters from Thomas on it. So that's the Bachmann James. And then moving on, we've got the Thomas, which I think is basically the same as Percy, but instead of having the 2 wheels at the front on it, just hasn't got them, but basically the same loco. That runs absolutely fine. I do find the Bachmann Thomas range are very noisy. They've been noisy from day one. I don't know why, but they used seem to be. And then my oldest locomotive out of all these ones on show today is probably the Hornby Percy. I've had this for many, many, many years, and it makes a horrible sound. It's a bit jerky, but it still works. And at the end of the day, that's all what matters. And so there you go. So hopefully this video has shown you what can be used on such a tiny layout, and being tighter than radius 1. It doesn't have to just be O4Os. Wagon wise ideally, and coach wise yes, but you can get away with 060 locos, and there's all the ones I've used today. So thank you very much for watching, and if you haven't already, make sure you like and subscribe, and I'll hopefully see you on the next video in the future.